My dear sister, you may have walked through the fire. You may have cried yourself to sleep night after night. You may have carried burdens no one ever saw, but God saw. There is a God in heaven who hears the cries of the silent. He sees the woman behind the smile. He knows the weight you carry. And I want to tell you today, your suffering has not been in vain. God is not finished with you. When you've walked through suffering, especially in silence, something begins to happen deep within you. It's not always obvious at first. The world may not notice. Your friends may not understand. But God does. You begin to draw closer to Him, sometimes not even by choice, but by desperation. When the pain is too deep to explain and the loneliness is too loud to ignore, your soul starts reaching beyond what is seen. You start reaching for God, not just for what He can do, but for who He is. Suffering has a way of stripping away all the noise, all the distractions. It pulls you into a place where you're no longer pretending, no longer performing. You come before God with the rawest, most vulnerable version of yourself, and there, in that place of quiet desperation, He meets you. He doesn't demand perfection from you. He doesn't wait for eloquent prayers. He responds to the honest cry of a woman who has nothing left but Him. It's in those silent, sacred moments when no one else is around, when the tears won't stop, and when your heart feels like it can't take any more, that God begins a deep and powerful work. He comes close, not always in loud, dramatic ways, but in whispers, in small comforts, in scriptures that seem to speak directly to you, in songs that break through the darkness, in peace that doesn't make sense. You see, when a woman suffers in silence and chooses to seek God anyway, when she lifts her eyes in the middle of the storm, she is being drawn into intimacy with Him. This is not religion. This is relationship. This is knowing Him beyond Sunday sermons or routine prayers. This is finding that He really is the only one who never leaves, never lies, and never changes. The blessing in that suffering, even before the breakthrough comes, is the closeness. You begin to realize that when everyone else fades away, God remains. And not just remains. He becomes your refuge. He becomes your strength. You find yourself talking to Him in the middle of the day. You start to lean on Him, not just in crisis, but in the quiet moments. And the more you lean in, the more you hear His voice, not always audibly, but through His Word, through His Spirit, and through the deep sense of being held, even when life feels like it's falling apart. This closeness is not a coincidence. It's a sign, a holy sign that God is preparing something. He never allows pain without purpose, and He never wastes the tears of a woman who comes to Him with her broken heart. He's not just drawing near to comfort you, He's drawing near to prepare you for the next chapter. And that chapter starts with knowing Him deeper than you ever have before. In that closeness, your identity begins to shift. You stop seeing yourself as just a woman who suffered, and you start seeing yourself as a woman who was chosen to walk with God in a way that few understand. It's the beginning of transformation. It's the beginning of blessing. And it all starts with drawing closer to Him in the silence. In the midst of the darkest moments, when it feels like everything is crumbling around you, one of the most powerful things you can do is hold on to your faith. And that's exactly what you've done. Even when it seemed like hope was slipping away, even when you couldn't see a way forward, you still believe. Your faith didn't waver just because your circumstances were difficult. In fact, your faith might have even deepened in the struggle. You kept going even when you couldn't feel God's presence. You held on even when you weren't sure if He was listening. In the quiet, hidden spaces of your heart, you've continued to trust. You may not have had the strength to speak, but your heart was still crying out to God. And that cry wasn't in vain. Even in your silence, even in your waiting, God was still at work. Your faith, though quiet, was a steady, unshakable force that kept you anchored. While the world around you may have said it was time to give up, you kept the faith. While others may have walked away, you stood firm in the belief that there was something more to come, even though you couldn't see it yet. What is so beautiful about this kind of faith is that it doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require you to be unshaken at all times. The faith that has sustained you through your silence is not a faith built on perfect circumstances, but on trust in a perfect God. It's a faith that doesn't shrink back in the face of trials, but presses forward with the quiet assurance that God will fulfill His promises. You didn't let go of Him even when you were weary. You didn't throw in the towel even when the world told you that you should. And because of this steadfast faith, God is moving on your behalf. It may not be immediate. It may not look the way you expect. But He is working in ways you cannot yet see. And He is preparing something beautiful for you. The suffering you've endured hasn't been wasted. Your unwavering trust in God has been the foundation for the blessings that are about to unfold. There is something powerful about holding on to your faith when everything around you says to give up. It's in those moments that God does His deepest work, preparing you not just for the blessing, but for the strength to carry it. This faith, born in the quiet of your soul and nurtured in the depths of your suffering, is the very thing that has been aligning your heart with God's purpose. Every tear you've cried, every unanswered question you've whispered to the heavens has been seen by the Father. He knows your heart. He sees the quiet battles you've fought, and He honors your persistence. You've kept faith in the midst of a storm, and because of that, God is about to reveal His faithfulness in ways you never imagined. He will show you that the suffering was never the end of your story. It was just the process that led you closer to His heart. Your faith, though quiet and sometimes hidden, has been your greatest strength, and it will be the vessel through which God pours out His blessings into your life. Keep believing, because God is faithful to His word, and He never abandons those who trust in Him. There is something remarkable about the way God works in the midst of our struggles. What may seem like punishment or a period of trial is often, in fact, a divine preparation. You may not have asked for the hardships you faced, but through them, God has been refining you, shaping you into something greater than you could ever imagine. This isn't to say that God sends suffering to harm you, but rather He allows it to come so that He can transform you into the person He created you to be. When you are in the middle of a storm, it can be difficult to see past the rain, to understand that the pain you're experiencing is not the end of the story. The enemy would want you to think that your suffering is a sign of God's disapproval, that somehow you've been abandoned or that you're unworthy of His blessings. But that is a lie. God doesn't abandon His children. He doesn't punish us to break us. He allows us to go through these trials to refine us. Think about gold being refined in fire. The fire doesn't destroy the gold. Rather, it purifies it. It burns away the impurities, the things that would weigh it down or cause it to tarnish. The process is painful, but it makes the gold pure. In the same way, your suffering is a process of purification. God allows these moments to burn away the things in your life that no longer serve you. The doubts, the fears, the insecurities, and leave only what is pure and true. And what's left is a stronger, more resilient you, able to carry the weight of the blessings that He is preparing for you. You may look at yourself and feel like you've been broken, like you're not the same person you once were. But I want you to understand that the brokenness you feel is not a sign of defeat. It's a sign of God's work in you. It's through that brokenness that He can heal you. It's in your weakness that His strength is made perfect. God is not interested in leaving you where you are. He is shaping you into something more, something that reflects His glory. The pain you've experienced, the hardships you've faced, have been making you more like Christ. It's in the trials that we find the opportunity to grow in patience, to deepen our trust in God, and to learn the depths of His love. Without the fire, there is no refining. Without the storm, there is no rainbow. And without the process of suffering, there is no transformation. It's easy to question, why me? In the midst of such trials, but God sees the end from the beginning. He knows the purpose behind every tear, every sleepless night, and every moment of despair. He is not punishing you. He is preparing you for something greater. The trials you faced have been a tool in His hands to mold you into the woman He's called you to be. They have tested your faith, stretched your heart, and taught you perseverance. And it is in this process that He is positioning you for the blessings that are about to come. You may not see it right now, but you are not being punished. You are being prepared. The blessings that are coming are not just random acts of kindness from God. They are the result of the work He's been doing in you. The process has been difficult, but it has been necessary. It has made you stronger, wiser, and more capable of receiving what God has for you. And when that blessing comes, you will know that it was worth every moment of pain, because you will have been prepared to handle it, to steward it, and to use it for His glory. In moments of suffering, it often feels like our prayers are unanswered, as if our cries are just lost in the wind. We may ask, does God hear me? Does He see my pain? But I assure you, your prayers have reached heaven, and God has heard every single word you've spoken, every silent plea in your heart. It may seem like silence surrounds you, but I want you to know that God's silence is not absence. His quiet presence is still working on your behalf, even when you can't see it. The act of praying during times of hardship is an act of faith, an offering of your heart to God. Each prayer you've lifted has been a step of trust, a belief that God is there, even when you don't feel His presence. You may have prayed through tears, not knowing what to say, but even in those moments, God heard you. The Bible tells us that He stores our tears in a bottle, Psalm 50:68, a beautiful reminder that nothing we go through escapes His notice. When words fail us, He knows the groanings of our hearts. Even when we can't articulate our pain, the Holy Spirit intercedes for us with groans too deep for words. Romans 82:6. Sometimes it feels like our prayers are just bouncing off the walls, or that God is distant. But I want you to understand that your prayers have weight in the kingdom of heaven. There is power in your prayers, even when you don't see immediate results. God works in ways we don't always understand. He sees the big picture, the end result, and He answers according to His perfect will and timing. Just because you don't see the fruit of your prayers right away doesn't mean God hasn't heard. He is working behind the scenes, moving mountains in response to your petitions, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Prayer is not a transactional activity, it's relational. It's not about simply asking for what we want, but about connecting with God, drawing near to Him, and trusting that He hears us. When we pray, we align our hearts with His. Sometimes the greatest blessing of prayer is not the immediate solution to our problems, but the intimacy it brings with God. It draws us closer to Him, helping us trust that He is with us, even in the silence. Each prayer you've uttered in your suffering, each cry for help, has been heard. God has heard your brokenness, your fear, your sorrow, and your longing for relief. And while you may not always see the answers in the moment, know that God is listening. He knows your needs, He understands your pain, and He is working in ways you can't yet comprehend. Your prayers are never in vain. They are always being woven into the tapestry of God's plan for your life, and the time will come when you'll look back and see how every prayer led to the breakthrough, healing, and blessings that He had prepared for you. There's something incredibly powerful about the season of silence before a breakthrough. It's in that quiet, hidden space where God works in the unseen, preparing you for something greater. For so long, you may have felt invisible. Maybe you've been overlooked, dismissed, or even rejected by others. But in God's eyes, you have always been seen, always been chosen. The time of silence you've walked through is not a sign that God has forgotten you. It is a sign that He has been working behind the scenes, preparing the perfect moment for you to step into the purpose He has for your life. In that hidden season, God is doing something deeper than we can often understand. You may feel like you've been kept in the shadows, but it's during these quiet times that God is preparing you for something greater. Just because no one else sees you doesn't mean you're not being seen by God. The process of waiting and being hidden is part of His divine plan. It's in the silence that God can mold your heart, strengthen your spirit, and refine your character. While others may overlook you, God has been paying attention to every detail of your life. He has been watching over you, protecting you, and leading you in the quiet places where no one else sees. God is never distant. In fact, He is closest to us when we feel unseen or unimportant. He is using this hidden season to align your heart with His timing and His purpose. He's preparing you for a time when you will no longer be hidden, but your purpose will be revealed for all to see. This time of silence is a season of growth. It's where you are learning to trust Him more deeply, to depend on Him for strength and direction. God is not wasting this time. Every moment of waiting, every season of being hidden, is a time of preparation. He is cultivating patience, resilience, and trust in you. He is teaching you to lean on Him alone, to build a relationship that isn't dependent on the approval or recognition of others, but on His eternal love and calling for your life. As you continue to stay faithful in the silence, know this: God is not forgetting you. He is simply positioning you. The season of being unseen is the very season that is setting you up for visibility and purpose. God's timing is perfect, and when the time is right, He will bring you from the hidden place into the place of purpose. He will elevate you to a position where your voice, your gifts, and your heart will shine. The world will see what God has been doing in the silence. Your significance is not defined by the attention you receive from others. It's defined by the fact that you are His. And when the time comes, your significance will be revealed not by the world's standards, but by God's calling. That season of silence is coming to an end, and when it does, you'll step into a place of visibility, influence, and impact that you could never have imagined. What you've learned in the hidden season will be the very thing that equips you for this next chapter, and you'll be able to look back and see how beautifully God orchestrated every moment of your journey. One of the most beautiful things about suffering is that it transforms us in ways that we don't always understand. The pain, the trials, the moments of heartbreak, they have a way of softening our hearts and teaching us how to love others in their pain. When you've been through the fire, when you've experienced deep suffering, it gives you a compassion that you didn't have before. It opens your eyes to the struggles of others in a way that is deeply personal and deeply real. Because you've been there, you can now see the hurt in others that might have gone unnoticed before. You can sense when someone is in need of encouragement, when they need a shoulder to cry on, or when they simply need someone to listen. God uses your own brokenness to give you a heart of empathy and understanding. The pain you've endured has given you the ability to walk alongside others in their pain, to offer comfort and hope in ways that only someone who has suffered can. Through your suffering, God is preparing you not only for His blessing, but for His purpose. You have been made more aware of the world around you. You see beyond the surface, beyond the masks that people wear, and you're able to offer love and support in ways that are genuine and authentic. You understand that people don't always need advice. They need someone who will sit with them in their pain. Someone who will not rush to fix it, but who will stand beside them as they walk through it. This is the beauty of the way God works in our lives. He takes what is broken and uses it to heal others. He takes the hurt that we've experienced and uses it as a tool to bring comfort and love to others who are hurting. It's in our weakness that God's strength is most evident. Your heart has been softened and shaped through your pain so that you can reach out to those who need love the most. In this process, you are not only being blessed, but you are becoming a blessing to others. Your compassion, born from your own experiences, will touch lives in ways that only you can. You will become a source of encouragement, a beacon of hope, and a reminder that God sees and cares for each one of us, even in the darkest times. And as you love others in their pain, you will find that your own heart is healed as well. There is something profoundly healing about giving of yourself to others, about sharing in their burdens, and about showing them the love and grace that God has shown you. Your ability to love others in their struggles will be a testimony to the transformative power of God's love in your own life. As you continue to reach out and love others, you will see that God's blessings are not just for you, they are for everyone you touch. Through your compassion, you become part of the chain of love that connects us all. You become a vessel of God's healing and His grace. And in this, you will find that the blessings you receive will never just be for you. They will flow through you to others, making your life a living testament to God's goodness, love, and faithfulness. And so, my dear sister, as you stand on the threshold of what God is about to do in your life, remember this: you are not forgotten. Every tear you've shed, every silent prayer you've whispered, every moment of suffering you've endured, God has seen it all. And He has been using it to prepare you for something greater than you could ever imagine. The season of silence is ending. The time of hiddenness is drawing to a close. You have been refined, shaped, and made ready for the blessings that are about to pour into your life. But even more than that, you have been prepared for the purpose that God has for you. Your heart is tender, your faith is unshakable, and your compassion is real. You are a vessel of God's love and grace, and through you, others will experience His healing touch. Do not be discouraged, for the best is yet to come. God is about to move in ways that will not only bless you, but will use you to be a blessing to others. The waiting is over. The refining has been completed, and now it's time for you to walk into the fullness of what God has promised. Trust in His timing, trust in His love, and know that you are stepping into a season of purpose, joy, and abundant blessing. May you continue to walk in faith, knowing that God is with you every step of the way, and that what He has for you is far beyond what you could have ever hoped or imagined. You are chosen, you are loved, and your blessing is on its way. In fact, when the night is darkest, that's often when the dawn is about to break.